Hey IndyCar family, I'm IndyCar Dad, your host for the IndyCar news in 5 minutes. I read and watch everything IndyCar for the past week and then I summarize it for you in 5 minutes in case you missed anything. So, the big news is the Long Beach Grand Prix was this weekend. Palou, Rosenqvist, Dixon was the podium. A masterclass by engineers at Ganassi. They brought the cars and the drivers did their thing. It was quite interesting to watch. The other news is the new qualifying format is great. Man, it's single car Fast Six qualifying is fantastic to watch. It's riveting television. Getting into the Fast Six is now super important. Everybody's driving their nuts off. It's really, really fantastic. Honestly, I hope they continue it, not just with the street courses, but expand it to the road courses as well. So, been great. Full results, top 10 results for Long Beach are Palou, Rosenqvist, and Dixon, who we talked about. Kirkwood was strong in fourth, Pato in fifth, in a track he's not usually good at, so that was good. Scott McLaughlin in sixth, David Malukas in seventh, Graham Rahal, another strong finish for Graham, Alexander Rossi, and Kiffin Simpson rolled up the top 10. Our top rookie this week was Dennis Hauger in 11th, which is really an impressive performance because Indy Next doesn't actually race at Long Beach. So any drivers that come into the series usually have never turned a single lap at the Long Beach track. So for Dennis Hauger to show up with no experience and place 11th in a very tight race is an amazing performance. Just to give you an idea, Hauger beat his teammate Romain Grosjean, who's raced here multiple times, beat him by 10 positions. So great job by Dennis Hauger. Also, I'd like to say that Mick Schumacher, even though he was thrown the absolute worst hand, his car died at the beginning of practice one. So he went again with never running this course. He only had practice two to work with, and he ended up finishing 17th. So really strong performance, even for 17th finish from Mick. So I think he should be commended for that. Other winners, Felix Rosenqvist, you guys know I'm a huge fan, but he really had a great weekend. He got the pole, he led the most laps, and he really could have won the race, except I think really pit selection is what did him in. Alex Palou, as the champion, up in the points, had a great pit choice. Fro's pit took a little longer to get in and out of, so. Anyway, Fro had a great drive. Palou obviously kept himself in the race the whole time. When the caution came, he and his team jumped at the chance and they got the lead and then he kept it. So that's really good. And then Scott Dixon was fast all weekend. He slammed himself into the Fast Six and then did really well from there. So it's really great. There aren't a lot of losers in this race. It wasn't a very mobile race. There wasn't tons and tons of passing and being passed. So it's hard to pick a loser. Some drivers went off strategy and had some trouble. Some had other troubles. But usually if the racer's teammate is on the podium and they're at the back of the field, I'll put him in this category. And in that case, Marcus Armstrong somehow ended up in 24th position. So not great. They didn't really show it on TV, so I'm not exactly sure what happened. But all right, let's talk about what's coming up next. Jacob Abel is an official entry now. They've announced their official entry into the Indy 500. He'll have a Chevy engine, probably the engines that they had earmarked for Prema. So Able Motorsports is going to protect the car. If you guys aren't familiar with Able Motorsports, they're not usually an IndyCar team, although they have been in a 500 in the past. But they are really strong in Indy Next, and they field a whole fleet of cars. I think they field 4 Indy Next cars. So I actually don't expect them to be dead last with Chevy power and with Jacob Abel at the helm. So I think they'll be, I think they could do better than what you're thinking. The 33rd rumored car is a very strong rumor that Catherine Legg is going to be driving for AJ Foyt Racing. I see no reason why this wouldn't happen, and I expect the announcement to come soon, maybe even before you listen to this podcast. There's the open test at the end of the month. There's 2 days basically to practice on the speedway, the big speedway. And this will be when rookies take their orientation and take their rookie test, and also veterans get out there as well. So they're kind of kicking off the month of May in the month of April, which is good. Thanks for listening, guys. I try to keep these really brief and informative. I think I've covered everything that's happened this week of importance. You can find me on socials as IndyCar Dad, and I hope to see you at the races.